The Mercury Prize shortlist has been announced, and I'm kind of underwhelmed by it. So the Mercury Prize, for people that don't know, is this UK yearly award for for an album that's come out by a British artist that they deem to be, a very good album. Perhaps it's quite cutting edge. Perhaps it's a bit different to everything else. It's a bit indie. It's a bit alternative. They typically go against the grain. It's not like your average Grammy Awards. It's not like your average Brit Awards that just is a ceremony. Handing out awards to the artists that sold the most albums, sold the most singles, that kind of stuff. It's a really good awards show that typically gives out awards to albums that usually deserve it. For the past 8-9 years, it's certainly been that case. Maybe a couple of times where I felt that a different album has deserved it, but the artist that they usually give the award to is a really unique and interesting artist that deserves recognition, and Mercury Prize does that really well, so I can't fault it too much. Just occasionally I think perhaps one artist should win over someone else. Like, for example, in 2014, FK Twigs should have won the award, but it did in fact go to Young Fathers, and Young Fathers are a really good artist, so I can't really have too much of an issue with that anyway. But in the past, fantastic artists like PJ Harvey, James Blake, Young Fathers, as I've already mentioned, Sampha, just amazing, unique artists that deserve recognition have been winning awards for the past however many years, and it's one of those award ceremonies that if it just got a little bit of a boost, then we could see quite a change in the way music gets listened to in the UK, probably, if these artists were pushed to greater heights. And so, as of recording, just about an hour ago, I checked out the shortlist, the 12 albums that have got recognition for 2018, for this past year. And I don't know, man, there are definitely some snubs, I must say. So the list as follows: we got Lily Allen's No Shame, Arctic Monkeys, Tranquility Base and Hotel and Casino, Everything, A Fever Dream, Everything is Recorded, Florence and the Machine, High as Hope, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, Who Built the Moon, King Krule, The Ooze, Novelist Guy, Nadine, Shah, Holiday Destination, Jorja Smith, Lost and Found, Sons of Kemet, Your Queen is a Reptile, and Wolf Alice, Visions of a Life. Now, you may know a lot of these artists' names. They're pretty well known for British music, I must say. This is probably one of the most popular years for music, I'd say, on this list, because, I don't know, man, you never typically see artists like Noel Gallagher, Florence and the Machine get this much recognition from the Mercury Prize. As I've said, it's typically the sort of smaller indie crowd that it appeals to, and it's fine that it's branching out to bigger albums. It's not like these artists haven't ever got recognition before. Arctic Monkeys did in fact win in 2006, a very well deserved win, of course. Their debut album's fantastic, but like I say, it's just a little bit out of the blue for artists like Lily Allen and Noel Gallagher to be the top of the Mercury Prize list. Just kind of feels a little disappointing to know that we got Noel Gallagher on this list when the guy isn't really doing anything new with music. That album had some okay songs on it, I must admit, but it's not exactly an award-worthy album. Like, this is just... Mate, he's not doing anything new, and he hasn't been doing anything new since like 1994, so I don't really know what it is about that album that the Mercury Prize deemed to be special enough to shortlist it. Florence and the Machine's Highest Hope, I reviewed it on the channel. A lot of people liked it. I also liked it, but again, it's a 7 out of 10 type album that really isn't anything special, and I don't really know if it should be here. Arctic Monkeys, seriously? I mean, I just don't think it's gonna win, but again, this is hardly anything special at all. Like, this album was regarded their worst album by most of the fans, which obviously a lot of their fans didn't really take to the new sound. I get that, but even as someone that was willing to hear them try a new sound, wasn't really that all impressed with it. It had some cool lyrical themes, but yeah, it's not a great album. Everything is a fever dream. Hardly anywhere near as good as Get to Heaven. It's a decent album, but Get to Heaven was far better and probably deserved an award over this one. But yeah, again, I didn't even think of this album when I was thinking of predictions, you know? The albums I was considering for being shortlisted were all albums like Sophie's latest album, because she is a British artist I actually found out recently I didn't know of, but she's in fact from Scotland. That would have made more sense to have on the list here as in comparison to some of the ones I've already mentioned. Jesus Christ, John Hopkins, Singularity, why is that not here? A fantastic electronic album and far more cutting edge than most of the albums here. Man, Young Fathers. Instead we get Wolf Alice, one of the most average indie rock bands to come out from the UK in years, that get critical acclaim for whatever reason, I do not know. I just don't get the hype behind this band at all. Lily Allen's No Shame, again, a solid album, probably a 7 out of 10, I must say, but it's hardly great and nowhere near her best work. It's a good album, but it's really not that great. Similar to Jorja Smith, a solid debut album, but it's a solid debut album. It's not like award-winning stuff. I like that it's here, actually. I must say, I prefer seeing that here than, you know, something like Noel Gallagher and Arctic Monkeys. So I can't complain too much about this, but it makes a little bit more sense than someone like Lily Allen, yeah? I mean, some of the albums I actually haven't even heard. Nadine, Shah, again, they're obviously going for some indie stuff, which I appreciate. Everything Is Recorded, I don't know anything about. Sons of Kemet, which is an album I need to return to. I listened to it a few times, thought it was pretty good, but I think I might return to it now I've seen it on this list, because I wasn't expecting a jazz album here, so I must say that's pretty cool. And by far the artist I'm rooting for on this list, I'm looking at my laptop from here by the way, is King Krule. King Krule is by far the deserved winner here. This was a fantastic album, widely considered one of the albums of the year. You know, King Krule has been doing great music for years now. I'd like to see King Krule win this one. I think he actually has a shot. I mean, a lot of people looking at this list thinking it's probably going to be Arctic Monkeys. But the Mercury Prize work in mysterious ways, you know, like I say, they always go for the indie type albums, and I think King Krule is the one here that would break through and come out with a win. But we'll see. But yeah, basically these are just my thoughts and opinions, you know, take them for what you will. You might like all these albums that have been mentioned. I just think they could have done better here. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. For me, King Krule's going to win. These are just my thoughts and predictions. I would like to see King Krule win Sons of Kemet. To be honest, I wouldn't mind that either. Just to throw some clout in the jazz direction, because that would be so cool if a jazz album won this. One out of all these albums, a jazz album winning, that would be crazy. But yeah, this is a pretty disappointing list, I must say. I've mentioned albums already here, you know, that I think could have made it. There are some that I've probably missed. Idols would have got. Would have deserved a place here. I don't even know if they would have made the cut. I don't know the cutting point or whatever, but you know, there were better British albums that came out last year that could have been here instead. Even this year as well. Yeah, pretty disappointing list. They pretty much gone for the popularity this time, which is very much not like Mercury Prize, but hey. Let me know your thoughts on this list, Mercury Prize and all that stuff. Have a good day. Sorry if I'm a bit cynical, but I'm sorry. Bye.